Hello, everyone. Welcome to A Pilgrim's Guide to Walking Wisdom 1111 Insight Bookwalkers Club. And this is like one of the most important chapters to me. I mean, there are a lot of important chapters, but this week we're walking with Ask a Better Question. And I love the quote at the beginning, live the question so that one day you will live yourself into the answers. And that's what I always teach in the wind work and all of my teachings. It's not that we're looking for answers to the questions, but we're looking for better questions to ask. And I think I was taught that by a mentor about holding the question. And all along when I was walking, I was holding the question. And sometimes when I would hold the questions, the answers would come really rather quickly. And sometimes, they would come a month later after I was already home. The I would like to read a little passage. The walk the day before from the fishing town to the Hotel Monumento Convento in the Plaza de San Benito, Guarda, Spain, while beautiful, was long. The scent of the ancient port reached me before I even saw the village. The salty tang of the ocean air mixed with the briny smell of fish carried on the breeze, a reminder that the sea was always close by. My steps grew heavier as the path transitioned from the stony ground to dirt, putting a strain on my right foot and forming a blister on my heel. The muscles in my left leg, inner thigh, tightened with every step. When I finally arrived in town, only to learn that my hotel was at the top of the hill, I had a mini tantrum. Exhausted and aching, I refused to take another step, heading straight for the nearest restaurant along the harbor path. Walking groups generally arrive to town in time for a typical late lunch, sometime between 1:30 p.m. and 3 p.m. Most often, a few members of our group arrived at the same time, and we would gather for food and laughs. Because my body had given way on the long walk, I had insisted on eating at the harbor. I still had to endure a slow walk up the hill. With the help of a fellow traveler, I slowly inched my way up the white limestone stairs, then followed the mosaic stone path towards the center of town. Once at the hotel, I was pleasantly surprised to find a working bathtub in my room. After soaking for half an hour, I devoured what tasted like the most delicious Napoleon I'd ever eaten in my life. Just as the creamy custard soothed my mood, lying prone on the bed for several hours of rest eased the cramps in my leg. Once stores reopened for the evening, I found my way to the pharmacy for blister relief and sunscreen. The next morning, I changed my shoes twice before leaving. It was Sunday, and the stone streets were empty and quiet. There were a few locals walking along the beach as I left town on my own for the second day in a row, and I stopped at a seaside park to make my 1111 insight post while sitting on a swing. A few kilometers outside of town, I came upon an ancient stone pool. To be with the experience, enjoy the gifts of the landscape, I decided to add steps, deviate from the trail, and go down the path toward the black circular volcanic rock structure perched beside the ocean. As I drew closer, I could peer into the thick black wall of the structure, which reminded me of the subterranean kivas at Chaco Canyon in New Mexico, created by the ancestral Pueblo people. Inside, there were square clay structures resembling miniature dwellings. I found myself wondering, were those designed to catch fish? Now, I don't know about you, but diverting from my path has not been my easiest thing in my life. I get going. Like when I'm driving to Whidbey Island, which I don't do very often, I I get in the car and I think I'm going to stop and see things along the way. But 12 hours later, I'm exhausted and stopping at a hotel. So doing even a little side venture on the trail was new for me. And I watched like all the other pilgrims, they walked by and took the wrong turn because you could only see the trail from where I was standing. And so sometimes you have to veer off the trail to find the trail or to find the better question. And when I got home, I was really curious as to what those stone pools were all about. And I spent a lot of time researching it, and I never really did get to the bottom of it, except for that I think that they were some way that they would catch fish or do laundry or it was like this ancient pool that had gotten forgotten in the landscape, and it's left to me with like awe and wonder and this curiosity to learn more about it. And I think that sometimes when we learn to ask those better questions, like, why do I, not why, but how come I just have to walk from point A to point B? What would happen if I detoured? And that's what this worksheet this week is about, is really asking the who, what, why, not the whys. Yes, we always want to know the why, but the who, what, when, how questions, because the whys will always trip us up. That's what I have today. And I just want to say to the people who are listening later, you can join us over at the Bookwalkers Club, bookwalkersclub.com. And also, we also have a WhatsApp chat where we're sharing pictures from our walk. So really join us. We're a small group right now, and I think we'll grow over time, but we really would love to see your pictures from your walks and hear about your experiences.